Welcome to Indiana. So it's currently 50 degrees out. We woke up to about 40 degrees this morning, and nobody likes that in an RV. But there's a reason why we're here, and we'll get to that when we get on the road. But first, we're gonna have to get this done to get the rig prepared for what we're about to do. So hang tight. Back on the road. It has been such a long time, you guys, since we have done a video on the road, I feel like.
It really has.
It has, yeah. It's good to be back on the road with you guys and talking to you guys while we're on the road. Unfortunately, though, this episode is not really a travel episode about fun things. This is actually an episode about us traveling to Indiana in the month of November in the not so great weather, because we have some things to address with our fifth wheel.
So for those of you that have been with us, we can link the other videos of the issues that we've had, and for those of you that have been with us, you know that we've been trying to get to the manufacturing plant. We have a date, and so we're on our way there for drop off.
Yes, more details in those videos. I'll link both of those videos down below for you. It was a long process to get to where we are now, but that's where we are. We're in Indiana right now. We are literally about an hour away from our Airbnb.
Yeah.
And we'll talk more about that once we get there and that process and all those things. And our recommendations if you ever have to go to the factory to get repairs on your RV.
There's a lot of coordination that needs to be done when you're living in it full time. If you don't live in your RV, then you can just drop off and go home. That wasn't an option for us. So we had a lot of moving parts going on.
Yeah. Oh, by the way, if you are new here, we are full-timers. Okay, we started this process almost 2 years ago. We sold nearly everything we own. We decided we were going to go full-time on the road in our RV and travel the country and see what this beautiful country has to offer. And so we did. And we've been loving it. But it's processes like this that are challenging. I wouldn't say that it makes you not love it, but it's these kinds of things that are the setbacks that if you're not in this lifestyle and you're looking to get into this lifestyle, these are the things you need to be aware of.
That can happen.
That can happen.
And if you're on the road long enough, I feel like it's inevitable. It's going to happen. So
yeah. So we're going to take you along this week. We're going to take you to the Airbnb. We're going to take you along with the process of how we're going to prepare ourselves to get our fifth wheel ready to go to the factory, because there are some things that you got to do in order to that they want you to do before you drop it off. We'll talk about that whole process, and then we'll take you along for the entire ride. We may not get through the entire process of the repair process through this video. However, that's okay, because we're going to take you along for the entire process. So if you're not subscribed, make sure you subscribe so that you can get updated on the whole thing. So anyway, got about 58 minutes left according to the GPS. We're driving through the countryside right now, and I'll throw a little bit of that B-roll as we make our way, and then we'll see you on the other side of the Airbnb. Chat with you soon. You don't get this at the hotel, do you?
No.
Okay, we made it to the Airbnb. What do you think, babe?
I love it.
Nice little trailer here on this farm. And the best part is we are surrounded by the Amish.
It's awesome.
It's literally an Amish country out here in the middle of nowhere. It's amazing. Great place.
Yeah, the Airbnb host is not Amish. So they are actually, she said they're one of the only non-Amish farmers here.
Right,
So-
they own 200 acres here in Indiana, northern Indiana.
Mhm.
And they said literally this whole area is surrounded by Amish farms. So really awesome.
We're like on a little pond, I guess you would call it.
So here's the kitchen. Nothing crazy special, but it's gonna work for us. I promise you that.
Yes.
Bigger than the RV.
This is so much space for us.
Take you down the hallway. We have one bedroom here, right there. One bathroom with all the hot water we can handle. That's always a plus. And then washer and dryer, baby. Oh yeah, we're gonna love that. And then the other bedroom. Look at that. Look how cute that is. This place is great. I'll give you a little bit of the outside here in a second. But this is gonna work out good for us. And we'll explain a lot more of why we chose something like this versus a hotel or versus an RV park prior to going to drop the rig off. But we'll do that after we drop the rig off. And we'll explain to you exactly why we did it the way we did it and all those things, because it does matter. So
And we actually have a lot to do right now.
we do.
Now we have to unload.
Yeah, now we have to unload, and we'll explain that process in just a second. Okay, what you see Steph doing right now is unloading the fridge, because that seems to be the most important right now, because the fridge runs off of 12-volt battery, so we're just trying to get all that stuff done before we move on to the other things we need to get out of there. But what I wanted to talk to you about is the reason why you have to remove stuff, okay? If you're going in for work and they need to do some sort of extensive type work when you bring your rig in to the factory, your manufacturer should give you some sort of checklist such as this that tells you exactly what they want you to do prior to dropping off your rig, okay? And ours specifically says we want you to do your best to remove personal items from the area that needs to be repaired. And so that's why first of all, we're removing the food because we don't want the food to go bad, and that's part of the checklist. And secondly, we're going to remove all the items from our front bedroom because that's where they're doing the work. And then all the other personal items from the bathroom that we're going to need and things like that. So, all right, we're going to take you along for the journey. Strap in. Here we go. Three hours later. It always seems, before you start doing this process, every single time, you always think it won't be that bad. 3 hours later.
Because you got rid of all your stuff. Like, how much would you possibly have to move?
That's true. We literally just spent about a month ago downsizing. We were like, let's go through, let's get rid of some weight.
I mean, we downsized, but like basically it's like every year we're like, okay, if we haven't used this in a year, we don't need it.
Yeah.
So we did that like about a month ago. We're like, okay, we haven't used this in a year. It's time for it to go. And I don't know. It still feels like
It's just it's a lot. It's a lot of work. But anyway, we're done. The truck is hitched up. We're ready to go for tomorrow. We have a 11 o'clock appointment
For drop off.
for drop off tomorrow at Alliance, the factory, and so pretty excited to get this done. It's been a long time coming. So even though this is all painful and took us a while to get here, we're excited for it. So
Yeah, to get the work done and hopefully like be good for a while.
the upside to all this though is this Airbnb is awesome.
It is so peaceful.
It's
and
so
beautiful.
peaceful out
Oh my
here.
goodness, it's
Yeah.
fantastic.
We're on this little body of water and stuff. We'll get you some B-roll of all this stuff later on in the week, but this place is freaking awesome.
It really is.
We saw the horse and buggies driving
Yeah.
down the street.
The Amish.
It was so
it's
cool. It's like-
awesome.
We're excited to hit the Amish grocery stores and get some really quality food and stuff like that too. So
Yeah.
stay tuned for all that. But
Now we're gonna go relax.
yeah, now we're gonna probably get a shower, relax, and then you get ready for tomorrow.
Yeah.
Make a list of things we want to talk about with Alliance.
Yeah, because we're there for one thing, but there's two small things on top of that we kind of would like to know if they could take care of for us. So hopefully.
Yeah.
We'll see.
We'll see. Never know. Don't get what you don't ask for. So, all right, we'll see you in the morning. Good morning. Today's the day.
Today's the day.
I'm so excited.
We've
Finally.
been waiting for this since July.
Yeah. June.
Was it
This
June?
happened in late June.
Oh
Yep.
my gosh.
Anyway, we promised that we would go over this checklist with you so that you're familiar with what kind of happens before you drop your rig off at the factory. So that's what we're going to go through right now before we get on the road to drop ours off. We're just going to kind of go through it. This is what it looks like. We're not going to, place this on the screen or anything like that, but we'll go through it. We'll read it to you so you can be familiar with what you might expect from a manufacturer. This is from Alliance RV. Other manufacturers may be a little different, but I would imagine that they're pretty similar. So
Mhm.
first on the list is please completely drain all fresh and wastewater tanks on the coach. I think that's pretty self-explanatory. They don't want any, liquids in the waste tanks or anything like that.
And they do want you to flush your black tank. So.
Right. Do your best to make sure everything is clean prior to taking it in there. It just depends on what work you're having done too. But do your best to have it clean regardless. Number 2, if the appointment is between October 1st and May 1st, and this is because we're in the Elkhart, Indiana area, northern Indiana, please completely winterize the freshwater system of the coach. And that's because your unit may sit outside for a little bit, and they don't want anything to freeze and damage your coach at all. So,
and that was our first time ever doing that too. So we've never had to do that before.
Right.
So
yeah. Right.
Basically, make sure you take everything out of the fridge because it's not going to be connected. So we had to empty our entire fridge and freezer. And of course, if you have anything in the pantry that isn't going to hold. So we basically cleaned out the fridge, the freezer, and the pantry.
Perishables.
Yeah.
Please turn off the battery disconnect. That's the next one, which we'll do when we get to the factory. They also want you to turn off the inverter or the inverter charger if equipped. So if you have one or both of those items, they want you to turn those off. Please close the shutoff valves of all propane tanks. Pretty self-explanatory.
Make sure you shut off your thermostats.
Oh, yeah.
So if you have your air or heat going, make sure that's all shut off.
Please remove any weapons or firearms. Please remove any valuables. I think that goes without saying, too. If there's something in there that you don't want messed with or stolen, that's up to you. Just remove it. Let's see.
And then if you're dropping off after hours, they need any information to get into your coach. So if you have like the
aftermarket lock with a keypad like we do, you just need to give them that code and things like that. So.
And if your hitch is not a stock hitch, then they just need, I guess, directions, or right? It says like
Yeah.
explain how to use your hitch.
Mm-hmm.
And
And then it says, please do your best to have areas of service cleaned out for personal items. Okay. And what that means is, depending on what you're having done to your rig, what kind of repairs you're having done, in our case, our damage or repairs are in the front bedroom.
Mhm.
So we just thought pretty much everything in that front bedroom needed to be out.
Mhm. So we just cleared out the front bedroom. So, and then that's it. And then they have like a signature on the bottom. I guess they go over this with us when we get there, and we could just check everything off. And
yeah. For Alliance owners out there, if maybe you didn't know this, but they also included at the bottom, if you are wishing to schedule an Alliance RV factory tour while you are in the area, we would love to show you around. And I think that is awesome.
Mm-hmm.
Any company that is willing to give you a tour means they have nothing to hide.
Behind the scenes.
I love it.
Yeah.
So you can schedule that while you're in the area, and they give you a link to schedule that tour.
Mm-hmm.
So that's pretty cool.
Yep.
And then you just have to sign and date at the bottom and turn it in when you turn the rig in. So that's the checklist. And so we did all those things. We're going to check these items off, sign and date.
Mm-hmm.
And we're going to get ready to go.
Yeah. I can't believe it.
All right. Let's go. Let's do it. All right. We just dropped off our baby.
We just dropped Trudy off.
Yeah, old Trudy. She's sitting over there between that black and white Alliance Valor sitting over there, and that gold, white, and gray Paradigm. She's right in between them two over there. So she's the second one in. Pretty easy process, honestly.
Yeah, it was great. He had the main, issue that needed to be taken care of, and then there was a couple of small things that we just asked him to look at for us while they have it in there. And the only thing is, so we're booked at the Airbnb until the 11th, and it may not be done until the 13th. So now we're just gonna have to coordinate with the owner of the Airbnb and just see if we can stay a couple more nights. But also, for those of you that have been following us, we are due to be in Florida on the 15th.
Supposed to. We have reservations for our winter reservation in Florida.
Yes. So.
But that's, we'll deal with that.
Yeah, so I'll just have to call them and see if I could just push that. So just a couple of moving parts that need to be taken care of. But as far as dropping off, it's seamless. Like, you drop it off, the person comes out with the paperwork, adds on the things that you have additional, things.
Yeah.
And
they just go with it. They basically go through it with you real quick. Mm-hmm. And anything else that you have questions about or whatever, and you unhitch, leave it right there, and that's it.
Yep. So
pretty seamless, easy. We were told initially it would take about a week. Now, things always change once you get there, because once they actually see what needs to be done, that's when they can really determine, hey, this is what is probably going to need to be done, and this is how much time it's going to take. Now, things always change also because as new units need to come in for repairs, also that changes timelines and things. So once again, with full-time living RVing, you have to be flexible.
Mm-hmm.
And it is frustrating, but this is part of the lifestyle that you have to get used to.
Just account for, like, it just is what it is. I mean, it's not their fault, right? Like, he's basing the time off the units that he has right now also. So when you drop off, then they can be like, okay, this is what we need to do. This is what we have inside right now, what we're working on. So then that's how they're gauging timelines.
And if you look over there where we had parked everything, it looks like
they're busy.
They're a little busy with what they've got to do. Now, I don't want y'all to speculate on if the brand is good or not. Okay, that's not what the video is about.
No.
All right. Every manufacturer is going to have issues. So let's not, please don't.
Yeah, if you Google any of them, like, we've been following this Grand Design thing.
Nightmare. Grand Design Nightmare.
On YouTube, because we follow several people that have them, and so You know, it's just with anything. It's not even just, it's like, just Google any of them and
Right.
it just is what it is.
Every manufacturer's got problems.
Yeah.
And what matters is how do they deal with those issues?
That's the important thing, because you're going to have issues with your RV regardless. So really, it's how is it on the back end when you need to get work done.
Exactly.
So,
Yeah. So okay, that's the update for now. So
Yeah.
now we're free to go explore and see.
yeah,
and
we're in
do it.
Amish country, so gonna have maybe some Amish lunch. We'll go to a nice little Amish restaurant.
I guess maybe there's something,
So-
some grocery store or something. I don't know.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So we're gonna go check it out.
All right. We'll see you soon. All right, so this segment right here is going to be talking to you about why we chose to go with the Airbnb option versus any other option we could have gone with. And there are several ways you can skin this cat, as far as preparing your RV, getting ready to take it to drop off at the manufacturer for warranty work. So why did we choose an Airbnb? Well, number one, we needed somewhere to transfer our household goods out of the bedroom in our RV and have somewhere to put that stuff while the work was being done. That was the biggest reason.
So when I was researching Airbnbs, another thing I was looking for was if the parking availability would be able to support basically be big enough for us to pull into and be able to turn around with the RV. And so that is why I picked this particular Airbnb, because we were able to pull it in, park it, and then just unload from the RV right into the house, instead of,
Yes.
had we done it any other option, it would just be a couple more steps involved.
Right. So it took a little bit of research, and once Stephanie found this option, we were like, let's do it. The lady had availability, and we were like, book it, because the most important part for us when pulling the rig and getting a place that would be able to accommodate was, can we get the rig in and out? And so this place fulfilled that pretty easily, and I'll show you why that is. So we're walking down this driveway right now, and right here is the Airbnb we're staying in. And as you keep driving down this driveway, as you can see where the truck is parked right over here, we pulled the rig in around here. There wasn't enough room to turn around right there where the truck is, but what we did is we pulled in back behind that fuel tank right over here, pulled in behind that, backed it up, and then was able to pull back in this way.
And she told us it was okay to drive on the grass and
Right.
all the things.
We
So,
made sure we asked all those questions before we booked, because it
Yes.
was important to us to make sure that we weren't going to do any damage or anything like that. So that worked out real nice. The other reason why we chose, well, we typically choose Airbnb anytime we have to be out of our rig and not staying with a friend or family, is there's a full kitchen. That's super important to us, because we don't like to eat out all the time. And so it saves us money, and it helps us be a little healthier. So
And for this particular situation, we had to unload our refrigerator. So we
Yeah.
needed a full-size fridge to move our
Correct.
things from the refrigerator and freezer.
yeah.
So this also checked that box as well.
Yeah, and I think we, as we mentioned already, this kind of just was really convenient, because number one, it's in Amish country, and for us, we love everything that the Amish do. Like everything they produce, all the food, the furniture, all those things, we just love it. And so we were excited about that. And then number two, this location specifically is 34-minute drive from the Alliance RV factory, which If you've never been to Elkhart, Indiana, that's where all the factories are. Or well, I should say most. Not all RV manufacturers are in Elkhart, Indiana,
The
but
majority of them.
all the ones that are in Elkhart are in that same location. So it's about a 34 to 35 minute drive, no problem. And so that's why we chose this. We would highly recommend that you look at doing something like this if you have to bring your rig in for warranty work to the manufacturer, and you're going to be out of your rig for a little bit. In our opinion, it's just better to have a homey feel, somewhere to put your stuff that's going to be safe, and somewhere to put your food so you're not wasting all that money and stuff like that. And so, because the RV manufacturer is not really going to offer you an option to store anything, just so you know.
No, you're gonna have to figure that
You
part
gotta
out
figure
on
that
your
out.
own.
The only thing we were really allowed to leave, at least from our perspective, was our mattress. We left that in there and they said that's fine. So I think that really about covers this episode for the week. We're not going to know exactly when we get our RV back until a little bit later. So stay tuned for next week's episode, because we're going to go through that whole process of what they ended up fixing and how they did it, and picking it up and reloading it, and then all those things, and then heading our way down to Florida. So stay tuned. We'll see you guys later on. Bye.